Good evening. Welcome to the December 15th, 2025 meeting of the Stillwater City Council. This time I will call the meeting to order, and I'll ask you all stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, councilors, first up, the consent docket. Questions, comments, or action on the consent docket?
Motion to approve consent docket.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve consent. Please vote. With the vote of 5-0, the consent docket is approved. Takes us to public comment on items not scheduled for public hearing. Tonight we have one local resident signed up who's somewhat of a regular here at the City Council, Elaine Zanotti. Not quite as regular as she used to be at the City Council.
Good evening, Council. Elaine Zanotti, 615 South Husband Street, Apartment 3. I am just wanting to let you know that a little bit down further on your agenda, you are going to have a presentation done by city staff who have put a lot of time and effort into looking at our downtown area and thinking about traffic patterns and safety and what is best for our citizens as well as what's best for the downtown Stillwater. And I'm going to take you down a trip memory lane. I can remember when we opened up Zanotti's Wine Bar in 2007. People thought we were crazy for locating downtown because at 5 o'clock you could throw a rock down Main Street and not hit a car. Fast forward to 2025 now, and we now have people upset because there's not enough parking places or not enough too close, they can't park close. But the other part of it is because I live downtown, I've watched the patterns of traffic. And as our downtown has gotten busier, which is fabulous, we've also gotten people to, as the stoplights cause some crowding with cars once the light turns red. We have people looking down on their phones. They're not paying attention to when the light turns green. Or my favorite ones that are the ones that are determined to make every light green downtown Main Street, so they will race as fast as they can. So I appreciate city staff taking a moment to look and think about what that means for the safety of our pedestrians, our business owners, and things like that. And so when they changed to the blinking red lights a few months before, I was a little hesitant about how that was going to make such a big impact. And last Thursday, they did a wonderful presentation to those of us who live downtown as well as the businesses to kind of explain what their vision was and kind of what has happened over those few months that people have utilized those stoplights. The interesting thing is at a four-way stop, it's amazing how you don't get on your phone, hopefully when you're in the car. You'd actually take a moment to pay attention to who is crossing the street at those intersections. You pay attention to the cars in front of you. And I notice traffic moves a lot smoother because you're not spending an exorbitant amount of time at a red light. I've seen more pedestrian traffic. I think people feel more comfortable driving because they're paying attention also to the cars that are stopped at the intersections. Businesses gave an opportunity to say, yes, they've noticed more pedestrian traffic and people paying attention to them as they are walking through. So aside from the safety, the other piece of it that I think you'll be impressed with is city staff made an attempt to also make it look like it was part of downtown. We've spent a lot of time and effort to make our downtown appealing to people to come visit and stay and shop and do those things. So the signage and the things that will help determine things in the road, I think is a great benefit and a wonderful addition that they're going to put to downtown. And I think it will make people pay more attention to their traffic patterns downtown as well as pedestrians, as well as make it look nice so that people want to spend time downtown and it's not just a bunch of signs causing some congestion in traffic. And then our most favorite thing is the roundabout. You either love it or you hate it. I was impressed with the fact that they're going to use the same stone they used for Block 34 to kind of keep that. I'm up for 3 minutes. But anyway, thank you to the city staff for making an attempt to make our things safe downtown, and I look forward to having you guys see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Takes us to item 6, public hearings. Receive public comment regarding the approval and adoption of the update to the city's comprehensive plan, referred to as Envision Stillwater 2045 Comprehensive Plan. Henry.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilors. My name is Henry Biebelheimer with Development Services, and tonight we're talking about Envision Stillwater. The comprehensive plan update began in 2023 when the City of Stillwater hired Friesen Nichols to be our consultant to the update of the comprehensive plan called Envision Stillwater 2045 Comprehensive Plan, or Envision Stillwater for short. The consultants have been working with city staff and the general public to create the proposed plan for over 2 years now. Don Thomas and Jake Lange with Friesen Nichols gave a thorough summary of the plan content and the drafting process to Planning Commission on November 18th. And then Don Thomas presented a summarized version of the plan content and creation to City Council on December 1st, 2025. Tonight, I'm going to focus on some of the basics of a comprehensive plan, how it will be used and updated, and if you have any questions about the plan content, I can get into as much detail as you would like. Generally, a comprehensive plan is a guiding document which outlines a vision and establishes goals for Stillwater for the next 20 years. A comprehensive plan is not a regulatory document, but it guides the city towards regulations that align with the comprehensive plan. A good example of that is the Land Development Code update. The Land Development Code is a regulatory document. It's literally full of regulations. And it's currently being updated. Envision Stillwater makes a lot of recommendations on how that code could be updated to benefit Stillwater. If the comprehensive plan were adopted tonight, we would use these recommendations to guide the rewrite of the Land Development Code. One key element that I will point out tonight is the implementation table, which is the last chapter of Envision Stillwater. Each chapter of the comprehensive plan goes into detail about the data, community input, and past plans and policies that have shaped that chapter. Then all of this data is used to create goals for the chapter's content. The implementation table gives City Council and staff clear action items that can be worked towards to make these goals a reality. For example, when a relevant action is brought to City Council, City staff can reference the action items in the implementation table to show you how we are working towards fulfilling the goals set forth in the comprehensive plan. So Envision Stillwater is a great comprehensive plan. It's not perfect, and it is intended to be a living document, which can shift and change as policies and priorities are updated. With this in mind, the consultants and city staff are recommending an annual review of the comprehensive plan so that we can make sure that the document continues to be relevant and up to date. So adoption of the comprehensive plan is by resolution. That will be considered later on tonight's agenda. I and other staff are open to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Henry. Councilors, any questions? This is sort of like our budget meetings where we've talked about it for so long and then we get to the actual final step and everybody's like, okay, cool. Thank you. At this point, I'll open the public hearing. I don't have anyone signed up to speak on this item. Was there anyone here planning to talk to us about the comprehensive plan? Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing and we will address this more in the resolution section of the agenda. Item 7 is general orders, presentation and discussion of proposed downtown intersection improvements. No action will be taken on this item. It'll just be information from staff. Brady, kick us off.
Yes, thank you, Council and Mayor. As you'll recall, earlier this year, we had a vehicle significantly damage our roundabout at 10th and Main. When staff reviewed that footage of the accident, we observed the southbound vehicle traveling at a fairly high speed, clearly indicating they probably hit 1, 2, or probably all 3 green lights downtown that evening. The situation allowed staff to take a fresh look, not only at the intersection there at 10th and Main, but also at the 3 intersections of 7th, 8th, and 9th in Main as well. The ultimate goal is to improve safety, both for pedestrians and vehicles, and to create more of a pedestrian-friendly, more shopping environment that we want our downtown to be. Shortly before the students left for the summer, as mentioned here at City Council and communicated through our social media, staff proposed a flashing 4-way stop pilot period to study the effects of converting those intersections 7th, 8th, and 9th into 4-way stops. The conversions would further support kind of a downtown grid. As you may know, with Block 34, we created 4-way stops all around Block 34 where there used to be just one. We've also added 4-way stops at 10th and Husband with the growth of the vibrancy of Stone Cloud and Empire Slice and the increased traffic that goes to that area of town and downtown, and as well as 10th and Lewis. We've added 4-way stops. So now we're piloting what could be a section of downtown that is all 4-way stops. We did observe during the pilot that there was a safer environment. Cars were traveling at lesser speeds. Just knowing that they have to stop at each intersection, awareness for pedestrians, much as Elaine mentioned, not being on their phones, they're aware of pedestrians coming into the crosswalks, as well as the additional new pedestrian signage that staff installed. Another benefit observed was the elimination of southbound traffic between 6th and 7th, stacking up when it was a red light, sometimes into Highway 51. And we've noticed that the four-way stops have allowed the traffic to not stack and to flow through at a constant rate. In general, citizen feedback has been very positive in favor of the four-way stops. As Elaine mentioned, city staff did meet with the Downtown Merchants Association and residents last week and presented the proposed changes, and the feedback was very positive. They were in favor of the four-way stops and they noted how it actually makes it more efficient for vehicles as well to go through, again, at a lower speed. They did recognize, as staff did, that we need further improvements. We've been able to pilot it with the blinking lights, but we want to get the proper infrastructure in place. And so that transitions us to Bill's presentation tonight. I asked engineering to study each of these intersections and present recommendations for improvements that would allow for a safer environment, more of that pedestrian shopping environment downtown. So I'll hand it off to Bill.
Thanks, Brady, and good evening. Bill Millis, Director of Engineering. Here to talk about the plan for the intersections. And here's just in the blue outline there, you can see the downtown as defined in the comp plan, and some of the local landmarks, and specifically we'll be talking about 7th, 8th, and 9th, and signals to four-way stops. You can see now that our stop signs are on the wrong intersections, but I think you all know where we're at. And then also at 10th. 7th, 8th, and 9th are all very similar. So this little figure there would be the same at each of those intersections, almost exactly. And this just shows you some of the enhancements that we've evaluated and think will improve both the intuitiveness of the intersection for drivers and pedestrians. That's one thing. The feedback has been positive, but some people, both pedestrians and drivers, have said they weren't sure what to do. So we want to make sure that it's becomes just second nature. With 3 lanes north and southbound, maybe that's what throws people off. Maybe just what they're used to doing, but we want to make it as easy as possible to understand from the cues what to do, to yield to pedestrians, and then for the pedestrians, how to navigate the crosswalks. So what we've got is proposing enhanced solar LED enhanced stop signs that are decorative backed and with decorative cast iron black pedestals to fit in with the downtown and match some of the other things that we've been doing in downtown. Those are on the left. A couple, probably opposite corners would have street signs, and then the opposing corners would not. The current traffic signal locations would be replaced with Block 34 style street lights. I call that pedestrian scale, but if you notice that the ones around the streets are tall, regular, but the ones in the pedestrian areas are 14 foot tall. So at a smaller scale and more ambient lighting. Those are also LED. We intend to add pavement legends at the stop bars, just adding the word stop to reinforce that it's not signalized that it's a regular four-way stop intersection. You've probably already seen the centerline mounted the vertical pedestrian panels telling drivers and pedestrians how to interact in the crosswalk. And we also plan to refresh intersection pavement markings like the stop bars and the crosswalk specifically. This figure is just a rendering showing another view of approximately what it would look like with the improvements that we intend or proposing. If there's no questions, I'll move on to.
So the stop signs have the lights in them, correct?
Correct. You can get, these ones just have at the corners. You can get them with a lot more lights. We didn't think that was necessary, that this is more fitting for that location.
Those
Correct.
lights just blink.
Yes, solar powered, because a lot of the locations don't have power there already. So in order to be more cost efficient, a lot of these will be solar, probably most of them will be solar powered.
And they'll blink 24/7.
Correct.
And
No,
there are-
dusk to dawn. I think they can be, I think that you can adjust them. Our intent was, because of the solar power and not to use up all the energy, just have it dusk to dawn. We can look, I think you can switch a setting in them and maybe make them go 24/7.
Okay.
I believe they're also the ones we were looking at were dimmable. You guys found some that could be, you can tone down the light a little bit.
Yes.
Make them appropriate.
Yep.
Yep.
10th Avenue, this figure has a lot more going on in it. But similar at the corners on each of the islands, we propose 14-foot Block 34 style streetlights. And then all the I don't know, the pink dots are the same. We've deployed them at 7th, 8th, and 9th. But our intent there would be to also put the pedestrian warnings at the crosswalks at 10th. And then all the blue dots are embedded pavement markers. They're LED lights and solar, so they don't need power. They're embedded in the pavement. You can see that all except at the east and west leg are on an island. So while they are drivable and intended to be snow plowable, we know they're not 100% snow plowable. So all of them except for those are on an island and thus protected most of the time from traffic. And again, refresh the roadway striping here, crosswalks, and you can barely see them, the little triangles, which they call shark's teeth, to help drivers better navigate the roundabout and yield to traffic within the circle. That's, Brady mentioned our meeting with the downtown merchants, and we did have a lot of, it was a good meeting with some good input. And so another thing that we'll be looking at here is further evaluating the signage and existing pavement marking to just make it abundantly clear for improve the understanding of how to navigate the roundabout, both to yield to pedestrians and to yield to the traffic in the circle, but not to just stop and wait.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And here we have rendering those, the embedded lights here look kind of big, but that's just to make them visible. Those really are, just barely humped above the surface once they're embedded.
And those two kind of constant flash, dusk to dawn, they'll just blink on and off
Yes, I think those will flash,
24/7.
I think 24/7. So the segue to the next slide there in the middle, you can see the statue feature. And this is just a rendering. We have an architect working on it, so it may look a little bit different by the time they're done, but to advise us on construction drawings so that we can bid out construction of the actual pedestal. We've got, as Brady mentioned, the ability to build up speed and the damage that's been done by the handful of times that it's been hit. Our intent was to armor it so that it doesn't lose every time. And as mentioned, this is the Block 34 style stone. The vendors for that stone have the ability to miter the edges so that we can make it more round to fit the shape of that center median for the roundabout. The plans will include lighting and some plantings with irrigation for, drought resistant, but something to enhance the statue and the roundabout feature. Another thing that we will include both or all three at 8th, 9th, and 10th. There's some spots that need what we call full depth repair. Remember, we have an annual contract. And so all three of those need attention, and this is a good time to bring those up to par as well. Specifically at the crosswalks at 8th and 9th to improve the pedestrian traversability, but that's intended to be part of this program as well. We would intend to phase the deployment because we're going to try to do as much as we can with in-house forces to save money, and so based on acquiring the devices, this part, the wall will be bid out, so you'll see it kind of phased out. Obviously, some of the pedestrian signs are already there. We mentioned the meeting that went well. We briefed TPAC on this multiple times, gotten good input and support from them, and I think that's. I'd be glad to try to answer any questions or take more input.
Thank you, Bill. Counselors, any questions?
So Bill, what's the cost estimate to do all this at 10th versus take it all out and make it a four-way stop like 7th, 8th, and 9th?
We have not completed estimating all the costs. Part of it, it's been an evolutionary design and figuring out what we need on all the different pieces. Some things like the decorative stop signs with embedded lights didn't exist, so it took a lot of searching to find them. So anyway, the point being that we don't have a hard cost estimate for the total program yet, and we did not evaluate removal at all.
Okay, well, I've driven on roundabouts all over the country and frankly in different parts of the world. I don't like this roundabout. It's too small. The visibility is obstructed by the statue in the middle of it. I think it's pretty, but I think it's ill-advised. I'll have a hard time voting for a plan that includes the roundabout.
Understood.
Is there lighting planned with respect to the roundabout? Is there lighting? I can't remember right now if it currently is lit. The statue, is the statue lit with any sort of like uplighting now? And would it be uplit in this?
It was, yes. And so, sorry if I didn't say that, but we would plan to include lighting uplit on the statue and quite possibly lighting uplit on the wall itself. We've got the around the edge of that median, but I would think that we'd have it too on the wall itself, so it'd be better lit at night. Because that's part of the effort here is to, make it stand out and make it very visible day and night.
Yeah.
I would say just in terms of the four-way stops, I actually have appreciated those as well. I think they've made things oddly less congested because you're not waiting for stoplights. And I would also say, I know when we first started this, it was, I think, towards the end of the spring semester or first of the summer, and there was some pushback on we're not really seeing what it's going to be like until students are back. And so I've appreciated that we've had this going the entire semester during homecoming, during football games, during Block 34 opening. And so we really do, I think, have gotten a good picture of what it's like, and that it does seem to work fairly well even when there's heavy traffic days.
Thanks for mentioning that. The timing of the pilot was intentional. We wanted to do it during the summer at first with lower traffic levels, just in case there were unintended consequences, that hopefully those consequences would be mitigated. And then once that appeared to work well, then try it, all out during this fall.
Do you think, I really appreciate the thought put into some of the design as well. It's a kind of a functional glow up for downtown. So that's, I think, really nice as well, making sure that we're keeping some of the design and as well as the function for our community.
So I'm trying to remember if at each of at all four of these intersections, would there be 4 new streetlights?
Yes, sir.
At each corner of all 4? Okay.
Right.
That's good. I think was down there a couple weekends ago in the dark, and I think what do we have, 3 existing streetlights on each block between 7th and 8th, like along the. I know we're not talking about the middle of the blocks, but it's not as bright down there as it should be.
Agreed.
You know, especially in the winter when, you know, it's dark at 5:36 and we've got people down there. That lighting those intersections better will be really helpful, I think, safety-wise for sure, but also just more inviting to be down there and feel like, you know, things are open, because it did feel a little dark. My wife wants us to hang lights across the street.
Oh, I'm
Like,
We're working on that.
I think the distance is pretty far on most of those buildings, but I love the idea of, you know, trying to address these sort of functional concerns with some beautification efforts at the same time, which this seems to address. So.
I know we're not supposed to have any semi-trailer trucks on Main Street, but we do. Delivery trucks, and I think they're pretty good. They know how to they know how to navigate and not have to come around the circle. But once in a while, you get someone makes a right turn off of 6th onto Main Street, and they're stuck there. They've got to get off somehow and have to go around the circle. Is this circle big enough to allow one of the smaller semi-trucks to get around it? I know our jeweler right there, who is on the traffic circle, has got several pictures of trucks running into the circle, damaging it, and delivering the city. I don't know how much follow-up there's been from those, but he's a staunch advocate against having the circle there because of that reason.
Okay, I know it's not sized for a tractor trailer, but I believe it is for anything smaller than that. With the small 18-wheelers, I don't know.
Yeah.
We are going to look into, because I've heard that, I don't know if it's some mapping apps or old systems, you know, because that Main Street was a highway 50 years ago, still send drivers that way. We're going to look into having, you know, are there ways to have it not be identified as a truck route? It's not one of our truck routes.
Right.
But see how we might be able to reinforce that.
I've seen more than once a truck come down 6th and make a right turn on Main. And, okay, once he's done it, even if he realizes I shouldn't have done it, what's he do? I mean, there's just no way out besides to try to navigate around the circle or make a right turn and take out the sign on the corner somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know how to stop that completely, but we're going to see what we can do to lessen the incidents.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Well, what's the plan on bringing back the next step here?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, based on some of the comments, I think we'll need some guidance on the roundabout, you know, restoring it with a, you know, greater luminance, more light, more awareness, more of the improvements to that intersection specifically. We can bring back an evaluation on the cost to put it back to a 4-way stop if the council would like to look at that option and take action in the future, that we can bring that back.
I think it'd be helpful too to understand, you know, is it a standard size? Is it undersized? Is it, you know, for where it is? I mean, certainly you see much larger roundabouts where you're circulating much bigger volumes of traffic. But in terms of a traffic calming device in that area, it just would be good to know if it was undersized to begin with, or like for where it is it normal?
I can answer that partly.
Yeah.
I wasn't here at the time, but what I've been told is it does meet the MUTCD guidelines, but that the inner circle, that median, is the smallest acceptable diameter. Because we had considered trying to widen the lane, but we couldn't take any lane out of the middle. And I believe the outsides are acceptable, but I don't know that for, you know, the outside edges. I don't know that for certain. It's definitely, it would have been nice if it was bigger.
So small, but meets standards.
Correct.
I mean, I think if we're going to talk about, you know, keeping it or not keeping it, the cost will certainly be a factor. So, I mean, I think we'd certainly would like to see what the investments would be to enhance it versus just turn it into the same sort of intersection we're talking about at 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Okay.
I'm personally a fan. I like it. I think it does what it's supposed to do, which is keep semi-trucks partly keep semi-trucks, slow down traffic. It's a centerpiece. It's got a lot of value to downtown that's not just traffic related. But, it's not a sacred object. So, I'd be interested to see what the costs look like from what the options are.
Okay. We'll do that. Staff will bring back estimates for both options and bring it back to council. Thank you.
All right. That takes us to item 8, resolutions. 8A is resolution number CC-2025-33, along with SUA-2025-10, a resolution setting water and sewer capacity fees and water tie-on fees in accordance with the Stillwater Municipal Code.
So this resolution and the next one for your consideration are related, and you will also see sister resolutions on the Stillwater Utilities Authority agenda as well. Community development staff identified a need to set water capacity fees, sewer capacity fees, and water tie-on fees for water meter sizes of 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch in connection with development applications received. So the only thing that changes in these resolutions is on the chart for water capacity fees and sewer capacity fees, they have added a capacity fee for an 8, 10, and a 12-inch. And in the section for water tie-on fees, they've established a water tie-on fee for those larger size water meters. And approval of this resolution just establishes those. Development Services is going to do a comprehensive cost study on all of their fees. They've not done this at this time. They've just based these fees based on the formula currently used for the others.
So we did not have the fees at all for these sizes.
That's correct.
We're putting them in place based on the fees we already have in place, and then we'll do a comprehensive study at some point on if there needs to be adjustment.
Yes.
Okay. Councilors, any questions about the resolution? Is there action on resolution CC-2025-33?
Motion to adopt resolution number CC-2025-33.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. Resolution adopted with a vote of 5-0. Item B is resolution number CC-2025-34, along with SUA-2025-11, a resolution adopting the revised rate structure for water and wastewater utility services, providing for subsequent rate increases, and providing an effective date.
So same story with this resolution. A almost identical resolution was passed in 2023. The only change is on the attachment to the resolution. It establishes a base charge for water rates and wastewater rates for those larger meter sizes, 8, 10, and 12.
Councilors, questions or action on the resolution?
Motion to adopt resolution CC-2025-34.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. The vote of 5-0, resolution is adopted. Item C is resolution number CC-2025-35, a resolution approving and adopting Envision Stillwater 2045 as the comprehensive plan of the city of Stillwater, Oklahoma. I don't think we need much explanation on this one. Councilors, questions, comments,
I
or?
would just echo your comments about it. We do get to a point where it's a little uneventful as we approve it, but I would just want to thank the advisory committee, the city manager's office, everyone that was involved in this, because it is a tremendous amount of work that has been in process for multiple years now. And so just a big thank you to everyone that has worked towards this moment where we get to approve it.
Absolutely. Is that a motion?
That is a motion to adopt resolution CC-2025-35.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, that resolution is adopted. Item D is resolution number CC-2025-36, a resolution of the Stillwater City Council approving the submission of a film-friendly certification application to participate in the Oklahoma Film-Friendly Community Program through the State of Oklahoma Film and Music Office, and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents for film-friendly certification.
So the Oklahoma Film and Music Office has implemented a film-friendly program. So this is a certification program that the city can apply for to get a film-friendly designation for our community. Since 2021, employment in the state's film industry and film and TV business throughout the state has significantly increased. For every dollar in incentives, productions spend $3.33 in Oklahoma. So typically, an independent production can spend anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million locally. So by obtaining a film-friendly certification, it can increase both community engagement opportunities for local businesses and residents and tourism and visibility by featuring Stillwater locations and films, which can help attract visitors and investors. So approval of this resolution would authorize the submission of the certification application. That is essentially step one. It also authorizes the city manager to sign anything necessary in connection with that application. And then additional approvals for permits and other film-friendly policies would be brought to you for further action at a later date.
Councilors, questions or action on the resolution?
It's really cool. We had a film happening in Stillwater this week, actually. Yesterday, I know a lot of my daughter's friends were there as extras in the community. On a personal note, I have a future filmmaker in my family, so I love to see that we would be a film-friendly community. So I would, I don't know if anybody else has any comments, but I'd love to make a motion if not.
Go for it.
I move adoption of resolution number CC-2025-36.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. The resolution is adopted with a vote of 5-0. Item E is resolution number CC-2025-37, a resolution declaring the eligibility of the City of Stillwater to submit an application to the Oklahoma Department of Transportation for use of Transportation Alternatives Programs funds set forth by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act for the third phase of the Rails to Trails project from 3rd Avenue to 12th Avenue. Assures sufficient funding for operation and maintenance of the life of the project. Assures that the City of Stillwater will have title or permanent easement for the project by the time of the project letting. Authorizing the mayor or vice mayor to sign the grant application and related documents necessary to secure funding and complete the project, and approving a budget amendment to appropriate funds for the required local match.
So the City of Stillwater has entered into a lease agreement with ODOT for interim trail use and rail banking in July for interim trail use by the city. This is the resolution for a grant application for the third phase of Rails to Trails project from 3rd Avenue to 12th Avenue. It's a proposed 0.72 mile ADA compliant hard surface trail, which would be the third of 3 planned phases necessary to connect and complete the existing Kamioka Trail system. The total project costs are $1,589,695. Did I say that right? I think I did. And the anticipated cost share of the project is as follows. ODOT grant funds, $1.2 million. City of Stillwater would have no less than 20% local match required, $389,695. So approval of this resolution authorizes submitting an application to ODOT for the Transportation Alternative Program Funds grant in the amount of $1.2 million. It assures Oklahoma Department of Transportation that there is sufficient funding for the operation and maintenance of the third phase of Rails to Trails project. It also authorizes the mayor or the vice mayor to sign any application documents necessary to secure funding and complete the project, and also approves the budget amendment appropriating funds for the local match.
Councilors.
Does the local match have to be, can it be in kind, or does it have to be actual dollars?
For this grant application, it has to be actual dollars. We have to go ahead and secure those funds and,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you can't use kind of in lieu, in kind, where you like use staff time to support that and use that as part of your match?
Yeah, it's got to be funds. And we've identified in the budget amendments that were included in the agenda, transportation fees. So this isn't the 260, this is the transportation fees, which are dedicated to capacity enhancements. And so expansion of the network.
Awesome.
I move adoption of resolution CC 2025-37.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. The resolution is adopted with a vote of 5-0. Takes us to item 9, ordinances. On second read, we have ordinance 3586, an ordinance rezoning a tract of land located at 711 South Ramsey Street from small lot single-family residential to two-family multifamily. Councilors?
Motion to adopt ordinance number 3586.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt. Please vote. The vote of 5 to 0, ordinance 3586 is adopted. On second read, we have ordinance 3587, an ordinance rezoning a tract of land located at 998 South Murphy Street from small lot single-family residential and commercial general to commercial general. Councilors.
Motion to adopt ordinance number 3587.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 5 to 0, ordinance 3587 is adopted. And on second read, we have ordinance 3589, an ordinance amending Chapter 23 Land Development Code, Article 6, Land Use Classifications, to amend or to add a setback exception in Division 3 Residential Districts, Section 23-136 through Section 23-142 and 23.144, Division 4 Commercial Districts, Section 23-150 through 23-153, Division 5 Industrial Districts, Sections 23-160 through 23-161, and Division 6 Agriculture District, Public District, and University District, Section 23-170. Councilors.
Motion to adopt ordinance number 3589.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Ordinance 3589 is adopted with a vote of 5 to 0. Item 10 on is appointments. On the Transportation Projects Advisory Committee, we have an open seat and an application from Dustin McDonald to fill that seat. I will move that we appoint Dustin McDonald to the Transportation Projects Advisory Committee.
Second.
With a motion and a second, please vote. With a vote of 5 to 0, Dustin McDonald is appointed to the TPAC, Transportation Projects Advisory Committee. We appreciate his willingness to serve on that committee. Reports from the officers and the board. Ms. Carnley?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, you can celebrate the holidays in Stillwater by shopping, dining, and staying local. Now through January 4th, every $50 you spend earns one entry into the 2025 Fly Home for the Holidays giveaway. You can win gift cards for American Airlines and travel through Stillwater Regional Airport. For details on how to enter and more information, go to visitstillwater.org. Also plan to join the fun at SUA for the holidays on December 18th, which is coming up soon, from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at our airport in the main terminal. This free community celebration will feature photos with Santa, awesome, hot chocolate, and plenty of holiday cheer. Please don't forget to enter for a chance to win one of 5 $100 American Airlines gift cards, courtesy of our friends at Visit Stillwater. So it's a fun event. I think this is the 3rd or 4th year we've been doing this, and it's a neat time to go out and celebrate our airport.
That's great. Thank you. Vice Mayor Jalewski.
Stillwater Community United will have their annual Unity event to commemorate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday, January 19th. The commemoration kicks off with an optional march at 5:30 p.m. from Southern Woods Park to Mount Zion Baptist Church. The program will begin at Mount Zion at 6 p.m. Everyone is invited to join as we celebrate Dr. King's dream and continue the journey. For more information, go to visitstillwater.org. Please also note that city offices will be closed in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday, January 19th. Trash and recycling and yard waste will be collected as usual. Always a really great event.
It is. Councilor Hawkins.
Save the date, Thursday, January 29th, and join us for our annual Meet Your Legislators event from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Stillwater Public Library. This is a great opportunity to ask questions, build relationships, and share concerns with your legislators before the second regular session of the 60th legislature begins on Monday, February 2nd. Many thanks to the Stillwater League of Women Voters and the Friends of the Stillwater Public Library for hosting this event. Hope to see you there. This is also a great event, always educational, always kind of gives you a heads up of what's going to be going on in the legislative session.
What was the date of that again?
January 29th.
All right.
Did
Thank
I
you.
say something different?
No. I was just, I
Okay.
thought you said the 26th, which is the city council meeting day.
Oh.
So that would be bad for us. Thank you. Councilor Clark.
'Tis the season for joy, cheer, and possible severe weather. Remember to have multiple ways to receive warnings and alerts to help protect you and your family. Follow City of Stillwater Emergency Management on Facebook and sign up to receive alerts at stillwaterok.gov/SEMA. Director Rob Hill and his team continuously monitor the weather and remain in communications with the National Weather Service of Norman. Be safe and weather aware all year long.
Very important reminder. Thank you. Councilor Harden.
City offices will be closed Thursday, December 25th, and Thursday, January 1st, for Christmas and for New Year's Day, respectively. Please remember, waste management calendars adjust for these holidays. For the weeks of Christmas and New Year's, normal trash and recycling will be delayed one day. For example, if your normal trash pickup is Thursday, it will be moved to Friday. If your normal pickup is Friday, it will be moved to Saturday. For more info and collection schedule, go to stillwaterok.gov/waste management.
Thank you very much. I will give you the reminder that as we're moving into this season of giving, we want to take a moment to recognize the important role of the United Way of Payne County and its role in strengthening our community. United Way of Payne County is the city's selected nonprofit partner because of its broad reach and strong connections with local organizations that support youth services, crisis assistance, food security, mental health, senior care, and more. Their work touches the lives of our neighbors, families, and colleagues. We'll hope that you'll join many of our staff in considering a gift to the United Way of Payne County. Every contribution, no matter the size, adds up to make a meaningful impact in Stillwater. Many thanks to Ruth Cavins and her team for the important work that they do every day on behalf of our community. And for more, you can go to unitedwaypaynecounty.org. This has been a big year for the United Way here in Stillwater. They've had a lot of work that they've been able to do, and starting back in March with our wildfires and helping to collect the funds that were distributed to those affected. We've been reminding folks that if you gave to the United Way as part of the wildfire relief efforts, that money went directly to families affected and not to the United Way agencies that the annual campaign that they run supports. And so we would always encourage folks to give again to the United Way to help support the United Way agencies that do such great work in our community. Anything further on the City Council agenda? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the City Council. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, the Stillwater City Council is now adjourned. At this time, I'll call to order the Stillwater Utilities Authority meeting for December 15th, 2025. On the consent docket, we had a request from staff to remove item C, to bring that back at a later meeting. Are there other questions, comments, or action on the remaining consent docket items?
Motion to approve the consent docket with the removal of item C.
Second.
With the motion and a second, please vote. With a vote of 5-0, the consent docket minus item C is approved. Number 5 is resolutions. Resolution SUA-2025-10, a resolution setting water and sewer capacity fees and water tie-on fees in accordance with the Stillwater Municipal Code. This is a resolution of the City Council resolution. Questions, comments, or action on the resolution?
I move adoption of resolution SUA 2025-10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 5-0, resolution SUA 2025-10 is adopted. Item B is resolution SUA 2025-11, a resolution adopting the revised rate structure for water and wastewater utility services, providing for subsequent rate increases, and providing an effective date. Trustees.
Motion to adopt or resolution SUA 2025-11.
Second.
The motion and a second, please vote. The vote of 5-0, resolution SUA-2025-11 is adopted. Any reports from the officers or board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, please vote. With a vote of 5-0, the Stillwater Utilities Authority is now adjourned, and that concludes our meetings for the year. Thank you all for being here.
For the year.
Wow.